Hi, everyone. Welcome to Emergency Preparedness Training. My name is Ron Halog, and I'm the Emergency Preparedness Coordinator for Independent Living Resources of Solano and Contra Costa County. I also wear different hats too. So I'm also the Vice Chair for ALCO, Alameda County VOAD, Voluntary Organizations Active in Disasters. And so the training I'm going to be sharing with you today is the Listos California for All training. And for the last year, we've been giving this training up and down California. And so you're going to be getting a quicker version of it, but we're going to be going through the 4 steps that I've taught and hopefully make it a little bit fun for you. So again, welcome. My name's Ron Halog, and I'm really glad to be here. So let's get started. So we know California's been hit by so many different disasters, from wildfires, earthquakes, floods, power outages. Just a few weeks ago, you probably remember the big winds that came through, and all of California wasn't impacted by it, but there were 5 counties that were, in a warning of a public safety power shutoff. And so we have to make sure that we're staying on top of that as well. And I'm going to show you some resources after we go through this training that maybe you might be able to tap into. But we've also had landslides, mudslides when it's been raining really bad. We've gone through extreme heat. And yes, we even had a tsunami. But notice one thing that's missing on this. And for the last 10 months, you've been going through this. It's called a pandemic, COVID-19. And so we've had COVID-19 on top of wildfires, on top of earthquakes. And so for California, we've been hit many, many times. And so this training is not specific for any one disaster. So we're not going to touch up on earthquakes, but it's going to be a catch-all. And these are 4 steps that you're going to be able to take to get you through any of these disasters. So here's some critical steps that I want to share with you right now. And definitely some things that I'm going to want you to do even after this training, because we know that it's great to take trainings, you get lots of good information, but then there's action that you have to have. And so that's where the road, or the rubber meets the road. And so we want to make sure that you're taking some action to get yourself prepared. So some critical steps really quick is to sign up for your local emergency alert system. For Alameda County, where I live and where I do a lot of my work, they have a thing called AC alerts. But this little website that I have for you at http://calalerts.org/signup.html. If you go to that site, you can actually find all the different counties in California. Yeah, you can just go to one site and you can find San Joaquin, Solano, Contra Costa, San Mateo, San Francisco, Santa Clara, LA, Orange. All the different counties are on that. And so one of the homeworks that I want you to do after this training is go to that site, http://calalerts.org/signup.html. Go to that site, go to your county, and sign up for the alert system. First homework, that's what I want you to do. And then if you want, if you got family living in the area or good friends and you want to stay on top of their alerts in their area, sign up for their counties. For myself, I've got 5. I'm hooked up on 5 different counties for work and then also for family. So definitely sign yourself up for that. The other little site that I have down here, it's really fun to go on to. It's My Hazards at caloes.ca.gov. And if you go to that site, you just go to the site, put in your address, and that will actually share you with a neighborhood of what hazards may be in your area. When I did mine, I kind of went, let's see what I've got. Well, I live on a fault line. Yeah, a Hayward Fault. I am not in a flood zone because I'm up in the hill area, but then I'm close to fires. So I'm kind of sandwiched between some different things. So it's a great way to actually go to that site, find out what hazards or potential emergencies you might have to face. And it's fun to play with. That way you get to know some some potential issues that you might have to run up with. And the last site down here, it's centeronDisability.org/preparedness. This is the 4-step booklet that we've been giving all last year. It's still active. You can go to that site, you can still click on it, and then you can still fill out information. What I love about this, it's just not a booklet, but it's actually a booklet that you have to start filling in your information. Yeah, it's a great starting spot to get emergency prepared. So centeronDisability.org/preparedness. Just go to that site and you can get access to the 15-page 4-step booklet free of charge. So let's get started. I'm not going to have you wait any longer. This is the 4 steps that we're going to be going over. And so the first step is to find your 5 trusted allies and share your plan. Second step is prioritize your health needs and create a list. Third step is create emergency supplies kits. Notice there's an S there on kits. And step 4 is plan how and when to evacuate. And again, all 4 steps can be applied to any disaster, earthquake, fire, PSP, whatever it is, you can apply these 4 steps. And we're going to go deeper into each one of them. And I'm going to share some other things with you too. And so let's jump into it even more. So find your 5 trusted allies and share your plan. When I do the full hour training, it's like we play a game called Name That Tune. And on that game, it's like I play the song by Friends, I'll Be There For You. And they have to guess the song, the band, and the TV show. And the reason why I picked that is because there's 6 people in Friends. There's yourself and 5 others. So I need you to find your 5 trusted allies, not friends, because we all have, friends, acquaintances that we know, but allies are the people who you're going to be getting to know, that you know really well, and that will actually agree to help you during an emergency. So again, really quick, just make a list. You're going to find, write down every person you know. That's the first thing. Every person you know, from your friend, your coworker, your neighbor, your whatever it is, if you have a social group that you work with, write their names down. Then this is where the action takes place. You get to call them. Yeah, you're going to call each one of them up and explain exactly what your needs are, and just tell them, hey, I took this class emergency preparedness training from this guy named Ron, and he's given us some homework. And by the way, this is homework number 2 that you're going to be doing. You're going to be calling all your friends to find out at least 5 of your allies, and then once you get the 5 people, up to 5, you can have 10. Just we're looking at a minimum of 5, more than 1 for sure. Once you have them committed, you're going to get all their information down. Let them know exactly what you need. Do you need transportation? Do you drive? Do you need help with any medical equipment or medication or whatever it is? You're going to be talking to them about your needs and making sure that they agree to it. But then once you get them, you're going to get their physical address, their phone number, their email, their social media information. That way, you're going to get all their information on how they want to be connected or how they can be connected to you. And so when you ask them, it's like, once you get all this information, just ask them straight up, what's the best and easiest way I can get a hold of you? Most of the time, they're going to say, oh, phone or text or whatever it is. Write it down, highlight it, put a big star by it, and then keep this list updated. Here's one thing. Once you get this list, you want to make sure that it is updated on a regular basis. You just don't want to do this one time and say, oh, I did it, I'm done. For me, just a little simple story. I have one of my oldest, dearest friends I've known for over 50 years. We grew up together. He lives all the way across the country. He lives over in Florida. I live in California. The nice thing about it, he's one of my trusted allies. And anytime there's a disaster going on, not an earthquake, but a hurricane going on over in Florida, I check in with him, or he checks in with me, lets me know that he's okay. When they had the really bad one out there last year, 2 years ago, I had called him up, and he ended up having a house full of, he called them refugees, but it was all his friends from Key West staying over. He had like 12 people spend the night there. And then afterwards, they all went down to Key West and rebuilt. So you want to keep that connection. Have this list. It doesn't have to be 5 people in your local area. Matter of fact, you want to have somebody outside your area. So make sure that you've got connections with them on how to get connected with them. And then write down this list. You just don't want to have it where it's one list and you're keeping it on your phone. What happens when the power dies? You're not going to have the list. So write it down. Put it in Google Docs. Take a picture of it. Share it with your friend, with your other allies, so they know who to connect with as well. And then put it in a plastic bag in your go kits. That way you have it accessible anywhere you go. And then again, make it digital. I have a thing called ICE here, and ICE stands for in case of emergency. And that's what's on my phone. Matter of fact, when I do, have any issues, if I need emergency, people can go to my little address book, and they will say ICE wife, and then ICE Todd, ICE wife. And people are like, why do you have ICE wife on this? And I'm like, laughing. I'm like, it's not because she's cold stone. It's because she's my in case of emergency person. It's somebody that I want you to contact if I'm hurt or not able to respond. So have your ICE people or ICE listing in your address book. That way people know who to contact. And again, you want to have at least how many? That's right, five people. And then check on these guys every month. That's the beautiful part. During the pandemic, guess what? Yeah, I've been contacting my ICE people, my 5 allies, every single month for a security check, just to make sure that they're okay, they're doing okay, and then to talk. It's a great thing to do. Stay connected with them. Step 2, prioritize your health needs and create a list. So you noticed, from my glasses, I need glasses. I can't see very well without them. Matter of fact, I can't even read my text on my phone without these glasses. Yes, in order for me to drive, I have to wear these things. And so I'm going to list out not only that I wear glasses, but my prescription, last time I have it made, and then I'm going to have extra copies of this, of my glasses. So for me, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 glasses, and then 3 sets of reading glasses that I keep all over the house just in case, when it gets really bad and I can't, if I'm doing a lot of reading, the bifocals don't work that well. So I have to put on the reading glasses. It helps me out a lot. So that's enough about me. What you want to do is you want to actually find out for yourself, what do you need? And it's not only for reading, writing, but I mean, it's everything. It's anything to keep you alive or anything that keeps you independent. So if you use a CPAP machine at nighttime, you can't breathe without a CPAP machine. You need that. Or do you need a walker or a wheelchair? Do you need an oxygen concentrator? Whatever it is, you're going to write it all down. You will need to also write down all the medications you take. Yeah, all the medications. Matter of fact, I did this for my mom one time, and had gone to the doctors, and it cracked me up. When we went to the doctors, first thing the doctor asked me was, or not me, but asked my mom was, Rose, that's my mom's name, Rose, where's your list of medications? And my mom looked at me. I looked at my mom. I looked at the doctor. I'm like, don't you have it? And he goes, no, because there's other specialists that she sees. And so they need to coordinate that all the time. So I got a nice little talking to from the doctor. When I went home, I talked to my mom about it, and I knew she was on a lot of meds. She was on over 20 different medications. So I wrote that down. So you want to do the same thing for yourself, but then start thinking about your loved ones. Maybe it's your mom, your dad, your kids, your spouse. What meds are they on? Know what they are, write it down. The prescription, when you take, so it's the prescription, what the medication is, dosage, when you take it. Those are the big three. I also include doctor and also pharmacy that I got it from. It's always nice to have. So that's just me. But then, so you want to make a list of all this stuff and share this with your trusted allies. There's a thing called a vial of life, and you can go online and you can, type it up. A vial of life is just a little piece of paper with all this information on it, including your doctor's information. And then you want to make sure that it's all listed out for you. But then that little piece of paper, the vial of life, goes into a plastic bag, goes into your refrigerator with a little sticker that says vial of life on it. And you just put that right on your refrigerator door, and then one on your front door. And then if 911 or first responders come through, they automatically know, go to refrigerator, open it up, where that little sign's at, or where the little sticker's at, and then they'll open it up and they'll get all your information. It's beautiful. You can also, if you're a Kaiser member, you can definitely request a vial of life from them. Kaiser will give it to you free of charge. Matter of fact, county will also give it to you free of charge too. And then with this information, not only write it down, but like same thing as your five trusted allies, go digital with it. Google Docs, take a picture of it, put it in your camera, put it in your computer, have a list, put it in your Go kits. So definitely you want to have this all listed out. That way, if anytime you have to evacuate, you have this list. I've worked some of the shelters during the fires up in Sonoma, and people would come on through and they said, I forgot my meds. I just don't remember what it was. If they only had a list, we would be able to help them out. So make yourself the list, digital, hard copy, plastic bag, computer, phone, multiple areas, share it with your trusted allies. Okay, and then this little one right here, prescription medications. If for any reason you do have to evacuate your house, say you go to one of your trusted allies and you forget your medication, but you brought your list, you can go to this little site. It's www.rxopen.org. And that site will tell you all the pharmacies that are open in your area. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. They'll tell you all the ones that are closed too as well, but they will also let you know what infusion centers are open that you can go to if you need it. And then also any American Red Cross shelters that are open. It's a great little site you can go to. Again, it's www.rxopen.org. Okay, so let's go to step 3. Create your emergency supplies kits. Notice there's a big S by that. And the reason why is because so many people, after going through these trainings and giving these trainings, people, one of the first questions I ask in a live training is, how many people have an emergency supplies kit? Everybody, I would say about a good 70% raise their hand, which is great. And then I ask the question, how many have 2? And they're like, what? How many have 3? How many have 4? How many have 1 in their car, 1 at their office, 1 at the home, 1 by their bed? And people are like, what are you talking about? Ron, all you need is 1. No, because we're in different locations all the time. When I, had an office over in Hayward, it's like I had all my staff, every single staff person had a little Go kit, a little emergency supplies fanny pack that they kept in their desk, just in case anything happened. They also had one that was kept in the desk, never went with them, just stayed in the desk. But take a look at the different ones that you have. A keep it with you or carry-on kit, a grab and go kit, a home kit, bedside kit, and car kit. Now, all these kits are not going to be the same thing. For example, your home kit might be 2 garbage bins full of stuff. I have another co-instructor that I work with. It's like he was sharing me his little bin, and he's like, Ron, I've got 2 garbage bins of stuff. and he took pictures of it and was showing it to me. I'm like, wow, okay, and he doesn't keep it in the house, it's in the shed. But so he's got the water, the whole bit. I thought I was good. I had a shelf, but I had the little bins that went on the shelf along with water, the whole bit. Um, and so the kits that you have are going to be different. I also have a car kit, and I'm not one to say go out and buy yourself a little red emergency go kit for $90 or $80, whatever it is. Um, you can make your kits yourself. If you do get a kit, say it's a holiday or your birthday, and somebody gives you a kit, my little red backpack that I have goes in my car. It's a great emergency kit. So just know that you can definitely have different kits in different areas. And here's some basic things to have in your kits. Um, non-perishable food and water, definitely. Flashlight, evacuation routes, a contact list, trusted allies, copies of important documents. That's going to be homework number 3. Battery power radio, extra batteries, charging cord, electronics, credit cards, cash. Again, I can't stress enough. You don't need to have $100 bills. You can have $1 bills, $5 bills, $10, $20 bills. If somebody's selling a bottle of water after an earthquake, and the only thing you have is a $100 bill, they'll be glad to take the $100 bill and not give you change. But if you have a dollar, yeah, they'll take a dollar. So just make sure you're prepared by that, because if you go to an ATM that runs on power and there's no power, you're not going to get any money. Credit cards, same thing. But you also want to have a first aid kit, medical supplies, and medications. That's something that you're going to be putting step 2 together with. Sturdy shoes for walking, set of keys. If you have animals, food, water, leash, carrier, bed, and also an N95 mask, or a regular mask will work too. I know that for me, I put in my little go kits, multiple N95 masks, multiple different kits that I have, or masks that I have multiple different masks in the different kits that I have. So you want to make sure that your kits are all stocked up. But you can definitely go to Google and type in the words emergency supply kit items, and it will give you a long list. I'm also going to give you at the end of this presentation websites that you can go to get a list for yourself as well. So the important documents, this is homework number 3 for you. So really quick, the important documents include your birth certificate, photo ID, health insurance card, home insurance card, guardianship papers, if it applies to you, proof of address, and that could be a utility bill that you get with your name and your address that you live in, and I'll explain why, and financial information, your banking routing numbers, your credit card numbers, checking and savings, all that information, you have it listed out. And once you get these documents, it's the same thing. Make sure that you take copies of it. You can take a picture of it, you can scan it, you can digitize it, whatever it is, just make sure you have these lists. The big reason why you want these important documents, say you go to a shelter because there's a fire in your area, you've been evacuated, you go to the shelter, you're there for 2 days, they say, yep, everything's secure. We don't know how bad the damage is. Some houses, in your neighborhood have been impacted by this, and we need to, you need to find out what's going to be happening. So you leave the shelter, you go up to your neighborhood, and you see the devastation. You get to your house and there's no house. Fires consumed the entire thing. These documents are your starting point. You're going to want to have the insurance, but then you also, if you want any type of resources when there is no house, FEMA might be set up, the Red Cross might be set up. Some of the questions they're going to ask you is, how do we know that you lived in the area? Your proof of address. That's what's going to show you. Tell them you have a utility bill there. You have your photo ID also there to tell you that that is you. Your birth certificate, you're just going to want to have uh, for anything. You know, I would even include social security card on this one as well. But just make sure that you have this information bundled up, make copies of it, go digital, you know, take a picture of them. And then, or you can put them in a safety deposit box. That's another thing. Or you can put them in your go kits as well. Okay. So homework number 3. And then food, water, hygiene stuff. Again, you can go to the list, computer list, make sure, or go to your computer, find out what you need. They say here, store at least 3 days of non-perishable food. Definitely, I always like going for 5. And then pack food that you really like. You know, people laugh at my food kit because one of the things I really like is Spam. So I'm good with Spam. I don't like anchovies. Can't take them. Don't like the oily tuna. Won't put that in there. So, you know, treat yourself um, really well to yourself during an emergency. So if you are packing food, make sure you have food that you will enjoy. If there's anything, it's not about surviving, it's about thriving during a disaster. So pack food, be prepared for a disaster, but that you are going to take less stress off you during a disaster. And one way to do that is to pack food that you know you're going to enjoy. Okay, and then here's some other things. Definitely soap, hand sanitizer now during these times. Toothbrush, shampoo, comb. And one thing, toilet paper. Again, don't blame me on the toilet paper stuff. It's like I've been teaching this for over, for quite a while now, and I've always told people, make sure you pack toilet paper. And when the pandemic hit, everyone went crazy and we started hoarding stuff. Again, you know, do you need, how many toilet paper rolls do you need? But just make sure you do have a roll for you during a disaster. And then Ziploc bags you can use multiple different ways, which I love. You can use it to carry water, supplies, kits, whatever it is, but Ziploc bags are priority to have. And then step number 4, plan how and when to evacuate. This is one of the things that I play with my live crews and my virtual trainings that I have. I play the Name That Tune song, and the song I picked for it is it's from The Clash. Should I stay or should I go? You gotta love it. And so just know that in all emergencies, you don't have to evacuate. It might be you have to shelter at home instead. And I run across a couple of those, you know, even at work. It's like I remember getting an alert from AC Alert saying shelter in place. And I told my staff, close all doors, lock it, close all windows, tape around it. Nobody goes outside because there had been a chemical spill right by the freeway. We were probably about a mile away from the freeway. Didn't want to be hurt by it, so we closed up. Once we got the okay, we opened up everything. So, but we did not have to evacuate. The general rule of thumb, if it looks dangerous, get yourself out. Simple as that. It's like if you have a fire coming down your street, or if you see smoke, one of the things you want to do is, you know, take a look. How long does it take me to evacuate? First question. How close is it? Second question. If I need half an hour to evacuate and it's an hour away, that gives me the half an hour buffer. Also take a look at the congestion that you have on the road. I tell people I better be safe. I rather be safe than sorry, and I get myself out. Remember, you can replace stuff. You can't replace life. So do yourself a favor. Always err on the side of safety than risk. So, and then be familiar with all possible routes out of your home and then out of your office area. That's one of the first things is when you evacuate, you're going to evacuate just out of your building, and then always have a meeting location out of the building that everybody knows. So for your house, for example, if you have a cherry tree in the front yard, that might be the perfect place for your family to be meeting if they ever have to evacuate, because not everybody's going to be going out the front door or side door or back door. Some people are going to be going out through the side window, whatever, with the fastest way out, but you have to have that meeting location. Same with your office. And I can't stress this enough, practice these routes out of your area, okay? Out of your buildings. And then again, that first piece of homework, sign up for alerts. And then always, I would say news is great. The TV news, it's like I get some of the general gist of it. But if you want to go to trusted news stations, check out FEMA, Red Cross, NOAA, Weather Channel. Those are reliable, trusted sources that you can go to get your information. The news is good, but sometimes they get secondhand information. And so always go to the first source that you can. Never try to second guess somebody else or the news, but always try to go to the primary source first. And then again, register, first piece of homework, register with your county. Go to calalerts.org/signup.html. Perfect one example is AC Alert, Alameda County. And that's www.acalert.org. And since I'm doing the training in Alameda County, I highly suggest that you actually go to www.acalert.org and then sign up for it. Another trusted place you can go to is 211. It's called 211 up. I work very, very closely with them. They're a great organization. They stay on top of it. They are with the EOC, the Emergency Operating Center, out of Alameda County. They've got a desk there. Matter of fact, I know the Public Information Officer there, and so their information is fresh, it's reliable, and I know that it's going to be going to 211. And if you go to them, they'll give you the good information. And then for public safety power shutoffs, and this is something that I want to make sure that you are aware of. Lately, the last year and a half, 2 years, they've been having PSPS, public safety power shutoffs, and PG&E has been turning off the power on people. You can sign up, find out, get these alerts ahead of time. They'll do typically a warning, and then they'll let you know if it's actually going to be happening. But then there's some resources that you can tap into, and that's through my company at Independent Living Resources, Solano, Contra Costa County. We can definitely get you signed up if you rely on any type of devices, medical devices. There's definitely, it's like I need you to call me up or go to our website at www.ilrscc.org. And then you'll see my information afterwards too. You can definitely sign up for it. And then transportation planning. Again, if you don't drive, guess what? This is where the 5 trusted allies are coming into play. So have that a priority. One of your 5 trusted allies, or all of them, are going to be able to evacuate you, are able to be drivers for you and help you during a mandatory evacuation. If you do drive and during a disaster, you don't want to have your tank go below half a tank. I typically, on a regular day, I don't let it drop below a quarter of a tank. But for you during a disaster time period, if there's fire around, wildfires have been crazy this year, never let it drop below half a tank. So definitely have it all worked out. And then if you don't drive and your allies don't drive, check in with your local transportation companies. Some of them will have special arrangements that you can tap into. They're not as reliable. I hate to say that, but they're not as reliable as having a trusted ally. I will always go with a trusted ally first. Okay. And then create an evacuation plan. And this is something you're going to be doing with your family and your 5 trusted allies. Again, you're going to write this down. If you don't write it down, it's a plan. It's not a plan. You're just reacting to it. But if you have a plan in place, you're going to be able to run through this plan, practice it, make sure you get it right. So write it down with your family, your friends, your neighbors, so they know about it as well. And then work this as a team, because we know that in a disaster, if you're trying to do things in a disaster by yourself, it's very difficult. It takes a team to actually help everybody out. And that's what we usually find out. Um, and then, make sure your family or trusted allies have a meetup place, meetup location outside the town. Maybe it's in another county, maybe it's it's in a different town. But you want to have that set up ahead of time, not being reactive, but ahead of time, always have that. And then practice your plan. As I say, if you only practice it once, great, practice it twice. Set it up. When I used to run after school programs, what I used to do is have monthly evacuation, monthly drills that my kids, my staff would always do. It got to the point where the students knew the plan better than my staff did. And I loved it. It's like I can always guarantee that nobody was going to be left in the building. We'd always do. And I always made it a point that I'd be the last one. I'd be doing a run through the building after everybody evacuates. And I check all the bathrooms, all the classrooms, all the rooms, kitchen, you name it, make sure everybody's out. And then we just run through this on a monthly basis. Do yourself a favor. Once you have your evacuation plan, run it through on a monthly basis so that everybody knows about it. Okay. And so here's the resources that I told you about. Again, the very, very first one, Independent Living Resources, Solano, Contra Costa Counties. That's my company that I work for as the emergency preparedness person there, coordinator. And so go to that site. And then on the very bottom, once you get to our website, on the very, very bottom, there's a little blue banner. And on the blue banner, it talks about PSPS resources. And then there's a little yellow button that says Get Support. Click on that button. That takes you to another page. And then once you're on that page, you go halfway through. I've got some videos of me on there about the batteries that we lend out or that we give out. Wink, wink, nod, nod. But it also has the website that you can go to fill out the application. And it's for the DDAR. That's the Disability Disaster Access Resource application. And that's how you tap into some of these resources for a PSPS event. But I encourage everybody to go to that site, www.ilrscc.org. Again, that's www.I, India, L, Lima, R, Romeo, S, Sierra, C, Charlie, C, Charlie.org. Okay, go to that site and you can get some resources on PSPS. The Pacific ADA Center, again, that it was telling you about some of the resources that you can tap into. For example, the 4-step booklet, that's going to be there, but it also will have information about what items you should have in your kits. So it's a great little thing to go into. And then the other sites that I have here from FEMA, California Office of Emergency Services, Health and Human Service Agencies. Again, I'm hoping that you're going to be able to get access to this. It's like you're going to be, hopefully, knock on wood, getting a PDF version of this, of all the slides, so you don't have to keep on writing this down, but I would encourage you, write it down. It makes the brain think twice, so write down everything. And the California Department of Health, Public Health, definitely, in the California Department of Developmental Disabilities, being safe, definitely some great websites that you can tap into. And then I know, for the question session, we're going to be setting it up after this so you can tap into me and ask any questions. And then for me, again, I just want to give you a nice little thank you again for having me do this presentation for you, this little training. And again, I'm with Independent Living Resources, Solano, Contra Costa County. I'm the Emergency Preparedness Coordinator. My name's Ron Halog, and that's my phone number, my email, and also my website. So thank you very much. And then really quick, I have a couple things that I want to share with you before I go. I have a few minutes left. Let me stop this really quick. Perfect. There's some different things that you definitely want to have in your kits. And, I did let you know you want to have water. Water is a very, very important thing to have, but it's hard to pack 1 gallon of water per day, per person. It's just tough. And so what I have instead is I have this thing called a life straw. And I keep this, and I'm sharing this stuff, but just because I want to make sure that you are aware of this. But this will filter out 264 gallons of water just by using it as a straw. So I still have it in the packaging, but you would just open up the bottom end, open up the top end, slurp it out like a big giant straw. And you can keep this, you can put this in a lake, stream. You know, somebody's like, Ron, it will filter out everything from bacteria, you name it. I'm like, I'm not going to take this and drink it out of the sewer. So that doesn't work for me. But out of the lake, it will filter out giardia, you name it. So it's definitely something that you can get at any sporting goods shop or anything like that. I got this one at Big Five for $15, and it's called Life Straw. Another thing I have is, besides having soap and water and shampoo, my wife actually found this one. It's a microfiber cloth. And the reason why I like it, because my wife was telling me about a 30-day challenge without using soap and water. And I kind of went, you're going to be stinky and it's going to be terrible. Well, this thing is a microfiber, first of all. So it's made out of recycled plastic bottles. And the microfiber is 1/200th the size of a hair. So it picks up everything, bacteria, and it picks up, what was it, 99% bacteria, which with only water, which I love. But it's called Norwax. Let me see if you can see this. And it's a great little product, but it's also, you don't need shampoo, soap, deodorant, or anything like that. You just use that. And so I keep, Norwax cloth in every single kit that I have. And the last thing that I want to share is this. It's called Illuminate. And Illuminate is a solar powered, you can see the solar panel on this one, cell phone charger. So it's got a USB port up here, but it's also a lantern. And what I love about this one, has like 4 different settings, but it's waterproof. So you can hang this up on anything. It lights up and it will last 10 hours. And I can always recharge it. I can recharge it through either a little cable, plug it into my computer and a USB port, or I can just leave it outside and let it charge. But some great things to have if you want to build your kit up. Again, building your kit up, you have 99% of the stuff, or probably 95% of the stuff that are in the kits that you would buy. If you're going to be buying stuff, I would suggest buying individual things like this, or asking, say you have a birthday or a holiday coming up, you can ask this, have it as a wish list. So it's just great things to have. Anyway, I'm running out of time, and I just want to wish everybody, be safe and be prepared. And again, do your homework, those 3 pieces of homework. First one is to sign up for your county alert system. That's right, county alert system, whatever it is, Alameda County, Contra Costa, San Mateo, whatever it is. Second piece of homework that you're going to be doing is, right, you're going to call up all your friends and you're going to get your 5 trusted allies. You want those 5 trusted allies. So call them up, and you've got a whole week. Just get it done. Call them up, check in with them. And the third piece of homework that you have, third piece of homework is great because it's easy. You have all the paperwork that you're going to be doing, all your important documents. Just make copies of it. So that's all. That's all the 3 pieces of homework you have. And so again, I wish everybody the best. Make sure you take action, get prepared, and if you ever want to get a hold of me, you definitely just look me up over at www.ilrscc. And I want to wish everybody a great day. Take care.